Hello and welcome to my patch notes rundown for the 5th of February. This week we have decent quality of life changes across the board as well as a pretty big shift for the WildyWyrm. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The WildyWyrm will now exclusively spawn as a new Wilderness Flash event. For people that might not know, the WildyWyrm is a boss variant of the normal lava strike worms that prior to this update had a rare chance to spawn in that same area of the wilderness. Personally, the Flash event is a more convenient way for me to engage with the WildyWyrm, but even so, it's sad to see a small niche community be made redundant. I think JX should conserve this sense of community and camaraderie by reintroducing the WildyWyrm to how it normally was, while simultaneously having the WildyWyrm as a Flash event. This would mean that players that want to casually experience the content can easily do so with the planned Flash events, and players who want to farm the content can do so with increased frequency of kills as a result of teamwork and scouting. Also, I don't know the drop table for the worm reward gland, but it shouldn't drop searing ashes if they're planning on reintroducing the WildyWyrm, as it could potentially nullify the economic reason for farming them. Lastly on this patch, for anyone wondering, the potential unique drops from the reward gland do count towards the Wilderness Slayer log. Luck effects now increase the chances for Big Game Hunter to spawn more than one dinosaur. Added steel armor to the Unicorn Stallion Familiar to distinguish it from the Pearl Pet. A warning screen has been added when attempting to add an Ushabti containing a soul to the chest of souls inside the player-owned dungeon. 3 spots from the Compass Elite clue maps have been moved to a ground level area to prevent the compass needle from spinning. Spirit Attraction Potion duration has been extended from 6 minutes to 15 minutes. This can be further increased to 17 minutes with Lantadime Incense Sticks, but unless you're already using them for other buffs like overloads, I don't see a reason to start, since the timer syncs up with the max logout timer. The minimum required players to start a sinkhole has been decreased from 5 to 2 players. The required supplies to end the game early seems to somewhat scale with the number of players, which is really nice. You also don't have to wait until the end of the sinkhole lobby to enter as a smaller group, it checks it every minute. Overall, a very quality change. The Water Fiend Familiar will now prioritize teleporting archaeology materials to the material storage over the bank. When attempting to start the Tears of Guthix minigame, June will ask whether the player wants to continue if they have the necessary items and requirements to cast the Light Creature Familiar's special move, if they're not already affected by its buff. Players are now limited to purchasing 3 membership passcodes per week using bonds. The Wild Jade Vine can only be killed using melee again. This is not that big of a deal since there aren't that many players that interact with this event nowadays, but I don't understand why this change was needed. Just let people use whatever style they want, especially when it comes to old and outdated content. The Ravensworn trait once again is not possible to be acquired through rerolling animals. The Dominion Tower XP book interface has been updated to include necromancy. And that's it for this week's patch notes. Even though it was an incredibly small community that hunted WildyWyrms, I hope they reintroduce it as I see no downsides to it. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you for watching and take care.